The veteran stands in the center of the room, dressed in military attire worn by time, but unmistakably proud. He's lived through experiences that most people could never fathom. And yet, here he is, in this moment of stillness, where everything around him seems to fade. Without a word, he moves. Slowly, deliberately, he takes a seat, facing a simple framed photograph of Donald Trump. Why does he stop? What drives him to do this? What would make a man like him, someone who has seen the highs and lows of service, pause everything to show this kind of respect? It's not about politics. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing with the person in that photo. It's about something far more fundamental. Something rooted in respect, duty, and honor. For him, it's not about the individual, it's about the role, the responsibility that comes with leadership. This veteran, with all his years of experience and sacrifice, makes a quiet statement, one that says more than words ever could. It's a reminder that respect is earned in ways that go beyond partisan divides. It's something that comes with sacrifice, with a commitment to something bigger than oneself. Pause for a moment. What would it take for you to stop everything and give that kind of respect? Take a second to think about it. And as you do, if this story resonates with you, let us know where you're watching from. And if you believe in showing respect where it's due, consider liking, subscribing, and sharing this message with others. The veteran's life is one marked by sacrifice. Decades of service, a life spent on the front lines, in moments of deep pride and quiet sorrow. His journey wasn't about recognition or fame, it was about something much more profound. It was about the commitment to something greater than himself. That's what shaped him. This wasn't a man looking for glory. It was never about medals or praise. It was about standing up for something bigger. It was about serving, protecting, and honoring the duty that comes with wearing the uniform. And when he sat down, in front of that simple photograph, he wasn't honoring a man, he was honoring the very essence of leadership. For him, it was never about the person in power. He's been through too much, seen too many leaders come and go, to place his respect in the hands of one individual. No, his respect was for the institution, the idea of leadership itself. The idea of responsibility, service, and sacrifice. When a man spends his life in uniform, what does he think of when he looks at a leader? What kind of weight does that leader carry in his mind? The veteran wasn't thinking about political affiliation or policy. He was thinking about the duty, the solemn responsibility of leading. And that, more than anything, is why he took a seat in that moment. It's not about agreeing with everything, or even anything, that's been done. It's about acknowledging the weight of the position. The commitment to serve, to protect, and to lead when it's needed most. It's a quiet, almost invisible kind of respect. One that doesn't need to be shouted or explained. It simply is. And that moment, when the veteran took his seat, it speaks volumes about the nature of honor and respect. Think about it for a second. When was the last time you gave respect to something or someone, not because you agreed with them, but because you understood the weight they carry? What would it take for you to show that kind of respect in your own life? This isn't about politics. It's about understanding the deeper meaning of service. It's about recognizing the people who give everything, regardless of the title they hold. The room was silent. The veteran, dressed in his military attire, slowly lowered himself into the chair. There was no grand gesture, no loud declaration of intent. His action spoke louder than any words could have. He wasn't just sitting down. He was paying tribute. Not to a single individual, not to the political figure whose name was associated with the office, but to the very institution itself. The office of the president, the seat of leadership, the embodiment of service to the country. In that moment, he wasn't considering the policies or the decisions made, the debates or the divisions. He was thinking of something much larger, the commitment, the sacrifice, the responsibility that comes with holding the highest office in the land. For him, it wasn't about agreement or alignment, it was about respect. There are moments in life when actions speak louder than words. This was one of them. The veteran's decision to sit wasn't a political statement. It wasn't a protest, nor was it an endorsement. It was a quiet acknowledgement of the weight that comes with leadership. The weight that demands both service and sacrifice, regardless of who holds the position. And as the silence in the room stretched on, the significance of what was happening started to settle in. This wasn't just about the office of the president, either. This was about values, the values of duty, respect, and honor. Values that transcend political divides, values that stand firm no matter who is in charge. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, to reduce the act of leadership to personalities and policies. But this moment reminded us that leadership is something more fundamental. It's about stepping up, about carrying a burden that's bigger than personal interest or gain. It's about serving others, protecting the nation, and honoring the people who make that service possible. Does this tribute challenge how we view politics? How we view leadership? It's not just about who sits in that office, it's about what that office represents. And sometimes, when we pause long enough to reflect, we realize that what matters most is not the name on the desk, but the values that keep the desk standing. Have you ever taken a moment to think about what it means to lead? To serve? Not just in a political sense, but in your own life? What does respect look like to you, especially when it's not easy, when it's not tied to agreement or personal alignment? As the veteran remained seated, we were left to consider our own sense of duty and respect. He didn't need to explain his actions. The moment spoke for itself. But it's something we can all learn from, the ability to honor something greater than ourselves, even when it's complicated. So, I ask you, what does it mean to show respect in your own life? Is it just about agreeing with others, or is there something deeper, something that transcends personal feelings and connects us to a higher purpose? Think about that. And let us know what you think in the comments. How do you show respect? When is it hardest for you to honor someone or something, even if you don't agree with them? The veteran's quiet tribute is a reminder that sometimes the simplest gestures are the ones that carry the most weight. And it challenges all of us to think about how we view leadership, service, and respect. As the veteran's moment of tribute quietly lingers, the silence fills the room with weight. It's a weight that's not easy to define, yet unmistakable. Respect, in this case, isn't about agreeing with everything or blindly following, it's about acknowledging the effort, the sacrifice, the weight of responsibility. This isn't a political gesture, but a deeply personal one. And perhaps that's the most powerful part of it, the veteran's respect transcends the individual sitting in the office. It's about the collective responsibility of service and leadership. Now, as you watch this moment unfold, think about the impact it could have on your own life. We live in a time where opinions often clash, where every belief feels like it has a competing counterpart. But in the midst of all that noise, can we still show respect for something greater than ourselves? Something as simple, yet profound, as the act of service? Take a moment. Reflect on what this tribute means, not just for the veteran, but for you. How do you honor those around you? Can you set aside differences and still show admiration for someone's service? If you believe in the importance of respect, the kind that doesn't depend on agreement, but on recognizing the value of service, then I invite you to share your thoughts. This is a conversation that goes beyond politics and policies. It's about understanding what it means to serve, and how we can all appreciate that, no matter where we stand. I'd love to hear from you. How do you show respect in your own life? Have you ever had to separate your differences from your appreciation for someone's service or sacrifice? Let me know in the comments below. As we near the end of this reflection, I want to leave you with something to carry forward. Respect is not an automatic reaction. It's not something we owe to people who simply think the way we do. It's something we choose to give. Think about the way we treat those who serve, whether in the military, in government, or in everyday roles where sacrifice and hard work are constant. Can we honor that? Can we acknowledge the weight they carry, even when we don't see eye to eye with their actions or beliefs? The veteran's quiet tribute shows us that respect isn't earned through alignment. It's earned through action, sacrifice, and the choices we make to honor each other. So next time you feel unsure, next time you're faced with someone you don't agree with, remember this: respect is a choice. It's something we all get to decide. Respect doesn't have to be earned through agreement. It's earned through actions and sacrifice, and it's a choice we all make. If this resonates with you, I encourage you to subscribe. Let's continue the conversation and keep sharing stories that remind us of the power of respect. Respect that unites us, even when we disagree.